Hello Slapafish community and welcome back to another World Tanks Console video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about something serious. The problem, Cold War has a serious problem, especially in Era 2 and Era 3. The problem is, every tank that goes in the game, especially in Cold War, especially in Era 2 and Era 3, is too good. Or any tank that's already in the game right now in Era 2 and Era 3. Everything is too fast, everything has really high DPM, everything has really good penetration. Aim time, accuracy, horsepower per ton. Now, what you see in front of you is Era 3 heavy tanks. We're gonna be talking about Era 3 particular this video. Era 3. As you can see, the analytics, the stats of every single Era 3 heavy tank in the game. So, you got the damage category. As you can see, the average damage per shot is 553 damage in Era 3. The DPM, the average is 4,262, which is a real problem. Penetration is 577 on standard, 661 on its premium. Horsepower per ton is 25.02, which is insane because these are heavy tanks. Top speed. Average top speed is 69 kilometers, which for heavy tanks. That's not including lights, because I believe light tanks are a little bit slower, maybe the same speed as the heavies of Era 3. 33, let's round that to 34 as a reverse speed. That's not too much of a problem. Hit points is average is 3,807. That's the problem. Oops. Aim time is 2 seconds. Accuracy is 0.24. Well, 0.25. We'll round that up. 0.25. Do you see a problem here? The maps are too small. The DPM is way too high. The max hit points of Era 3 is 4,150 hit points. 4,150 hit points. As you can see, all this green stuff is all the tanks that can kill the max hit points, which is the Merkava. Well, it's the Merkava Mark III. The Merkava Mark III has the most hit points of any Era 3 tank. It's 4,150 tanks. 4,150 hit points. Everything over here in green is all the tanks that can kill it in less than a minute. And these are heavy tanks. They're not supposed to be the killing tanks. Only 3 Era 3 heavy tanks cannot kill the Merkava Mark II-B, the Mark III, in less than a minute. Only 3. That is the T-72BM, the Type 85-2M, and the T-72B. Now, how does that compare to World War II? Now, yes, this is how it compares. This is the tank destroyers of Tier 10. Every single tank destroyer of Tier 10. Okay? Tank destroyers are meant to be the tank killing class. They're the ones that have the best DPM, the best penetration, the best alpha. So, yeah. The Mouse has 3,000 hit points. It is the most healthiest tank in World War II. And everything that you see in green is tanks that can kill it in less than a minute. There's only 6. The Surrey Swung 103B. The Foch 155 using the 120mm. The Badger. The Waffenträger E100 using the 15cm. The Object 268 and the Turan are all tanks that can kill the Mouse in less than a minute. When every tank is good, that means no tank is good. So, what else? Also, the DPM is way too high. That means either something has to be done either the hit points have to get increased of Era 3 and Era 2, well, Cold War, to make the matches last way longer than they do. And the matches on average in Cold War last about 3 to 5 minutes. In World War II, they last anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. So yeah. Now, the DPM problem, everything is too fast, everything has too much DPM, everything is too accurate. So that's why all the wolf packing is happening in Era 2, especially Era 3. We're just going to stick right now for Era 3, because Era 3 is right now the worst era. Because this is where that mentality is. This is where the biggest problem is. Where it shows up the most. Because every single tank in Era 3 plays almost identical. They almost all do. And that's a problem. And it creates a wolf pack. Now, also, so, like I said, the average DPM is 4,262. The most health points of Era 3 tank is 4,150. 4,150. So, I did a thing. So, I wanted to know how fast can the highest DPM tank in Era 3 take out the most healthiest tank. The highest DPM of Era 3 is the Challenger 1 at 4,971 damage. Most healthiest tank is the Merkava Mark 3 at 4,150 hit points. Challenger 1 can kill the Merkava Mark 3 in 50 seconds. How does that compare to World War II? The tank destroyer, which is the Badger. The Badger can kill a mouse in 53 seconds. 2 seconds difference, right? That's not a big difference. Okay? So, yeah. Now, what about the slowest? The tank that has the lowest DPM, which is the T-72B. It can kill a Merkava Mark 3 in 62 seconds. 62 seconds. Okay? Now, how does that compare to Tier 10 tank destroyers? Roofless. Using not high explosive, AP. 1,150 damage per shot. 86, it can kill a mouse in 86.07 seconds. That's a huge difference. The average. What about the average time a heavy tank can kill the Merkava Mark 3? Which is 52.82 seconds. That means most tanks can kill, on average, the Merkava Mark 3B will be dead in 53 seconds. What about World War II? 65.29 seconds. So basically 65 seconds. There's a big difference there. Now, the difference, as you can see, the point I'm trying to make is Era 3, like Cold War stuff, especially Era 2 and Era 3. Era 3, Cold War stuff is just everything plays identical. Literally, everything does. Why? Why does everything play identical? I understand it's like modern tanks. They're all supposed to be good at everything. But this is a game that's supposed to be more focused on like gameplay and balance of the game. And having everything do everything creates unfun gameplay. Just look at Era 3. It wolf packs. Everybody wolf packs to one side. It means the entire team will go one side and the other team will go the other side. Anybody that tries to fight that team that goes that way or split off like World War II matches happen, you're just going to get killed. And there's no point of splitting off. So, something has to be done if Cold War wants to grow. And also the game. So anyway, something has to be done. What has to be done? Well, first off, I think Era 2 and Era 3 needs to get rebalanced. Like, all the tanks need to get rebalanced. Like, okay, so take World War II for example. World War II, you got the IS-4 that's really good at its armor. Its armor is amazing. Its gun is okay, but the mobility is what holds it back. It's side scraping. Its job is a side scrape. The E5, the Super Conqueror, they're supposed to go hold down. They don't have the mobility. They have really good guns, but they're supposed to go hold down. You got the 705A, side scraping. You got the 60DP that can go hold down with its massive gun. It's got 750 damage. It doesn't have the DPM like the E5 or the Super Conqueror, but it has the damage per shot. The mouse can pretty much sit out in the open and just angle. E100 does the same thing. There's Type 5. There's a whole bunch of play styles that are different in Tier 10. Just looking at the heavy tanks, or even looking at the tank destroyers. Let's just look at the tank destroyers right quick. The 114 SP2. Let's take that into account. It doesn't have the best DPM. It doesn't have the best armor or anything like that. But it has 650 alpha. It can side scrape a little bit. It's like a big, somewhat armored tank destroyer that has a decently sized gun. You got the Waffentrager E100 that has a 6-shot auto, 4-shot autoloader or 3-shot autoloader, depending on what gun you're using. And it wants to stay in the back of the map. The E4 can play like a heavy tank. The E3 is that frontal, all-out tank destroyer that can push and charge, just like the version 4. Or are some tanks that play the same? Yes, but most of them don't. But there's different play styles. The version 5 can play like a heavy tank. 268 likes to sit in the back. The Tron likes to sit in the back. Yeah, Panzer 100 can either sit in the back or stay up in the front lines. 4005 stays in the back. The Stern Tiger basically loads high explosive and just like, you know what, I'm just going to splice anywhere I want to and deal damage. The Minotauro has the autoloader. The Grill 15 has the mobility. It can run around the map and do 750 damage to a spot and run around to a different map spot. Fodge 155 doesn't have it has strong armor, but it also has really good gun options. The Badger, same thing as the E3. The Surge Spawn 103B, it has one of the best DPM in Tier 10, but it has no armor, but has amazing concealment and view range and accuracy and stuff like that. The Nemesis has 3 different types of shells it can fire. Each three shell types does a different reload, a different damage. You see the point I'm trying to make? The playstyles, even just looking at one class in Tier 10 in World War II, it's just completely different. Every tank, almost every single tank has a different playstyle. Each tank is none of them play identical. Yeah, some tanks play similar, but they still have their differences. But not all. Yes, there may be 1 or 2 tanks or 3 tanks that play identical, but not every single tank. If you look in Era 3, the heavy tanks, they all play pretty much identical. All of the Era heavy tanks. Like right now, it doesn't matter. The question gets asked, what heavy tank should I go for in Era 3? I'm like, it doesn't really matter, because they all play the same. They all have really good aim time. They all have really good accuracy. They all have really good penetration. They all have really good mobility. They all play identical. And it makes Era 3 pretty much unplayable, because when everything plays the same, they can wolfpack together. They can keep up with each other. If they did that in World War II, you got tanks that are too slow. You got tanks that playstyle does not work for that tank. So you got to play a different playstyle. That's why World War II is so much more enjoyable in Era 1. Era 1 is different than Era 2 and 3. Era 1 plays more like World War II because there are different playstyles. Era 2 has somewhat that. But Era 3 is what there's really no different playstyles. Like, yeah, like Merkava Mark III should the Merkavas, their turrets are on the back of the tank. They should be these side-scraping heavy tanks. Like, nerf their traverse speed on the Merkava tanks. They should be the side-scraping tanks. They should be the side-scraping tanks. Nerf their top mobility. Nerf their mobility. Nerf their traverse speed. Give them better frontal armor. And just let them be that side-scraping beast. Give them more alpha. Nerf that DPM. Nerf that reload. I would also say nerf the DPM, but give them better alpha so they can play a side-scraping role, just like the R75A. What else? Like, you can give them different class roles. The M1A2, I mean, the armor is pretty good. Like, it could be the all-rounder heavy tank, just like the E5 is in World War II. Like, the World War... yeah. The Leclerc is fast. It's mobile. It has decent armor. It should be the fastest one. And it is. But I would nerf the top speed from 72.4 to like 68 or 67. Because light tanks use their mobility and camo. And some of these heavy tanks are faster than light tanks. It makes the light tanks outmatched. Outgunned, they're outmatched, they're outgunned. The T-72BU. Why does it have one of the biggest guns in Era 3, but does 10 more damage? Why? Give it like 600 or 650 alpha or something like that. And that's pretty much... give it like 600, 650 alpha. Nerf its DPM a little bit. Or also buff the hit points of everything in Era 3 and Era 2. Make the games last longer. Like, give each tank a different play style. The Merkava 3s, the Merkavas, side scraping, T-70BUs. Why does it have the biggest gun? Give it more alpha. The 1A2 can be the all-rounder. The Challenger 2 can be the hold-down tank. What else? The Leopard 2A5 can be that tank that just sits out in front and just blocks damage. What else? There's a lot of tanks you can go with. Like, I don't really know about the Type 85s or Chinese tanks, but you see the point here. The point is, make each tank different. Give them different playstyles. Nerf the aim times, nerf the accuracies, nerf the DPM, mobility, stuff like that. Because everything is too good. And Era 3 and Era 2 are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. Because it's not fun. Something needs to change, and this is exactly what needs to change. Everything is DPM is way too high. Everything's mobility is way too high. Accuracy is way too high. I understand that's how it's in real life, but this is the game. Make it fun. Capiche? Make it fun. So yeah. Yeah, that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe on Slapafish because it was not. And peace out. See ya.